With these recent updates, the fish rods have been getting absolutely overpowered, and a lot of people have been asking, what do I buy next? And that's what I'm here for, you guys. I'm going to be giving you a full noob to pro rod progression. So no matter what part of the game you're at, this video is going to be useful. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, subscribe and hit that bell right now and like the video and join my Discord server, link down below. We do nice giveaways in there and more, and we have a great community. And I am still planning on how I'm going to be giving this away, but we are doing a chocolate ancient kraken giveaway that I caught. If you want to join, follow me on Instagram and then send me a DM and tell me why you want this. I do want to do this on my next stream, so until my next stream, you guys are going to have time to basically follow me on Instagram and DM me and tell me why you want the fish. But yeah, guys, share this video with a friend who probably needs it. And yeah, so first things first, what I want to say is that this isn't going to be a specific, like, grinding video. So if you're looking for the best grinding spots, I'll just state some of them really quickly. One of my personal favorites is actually the Kraken pool. So that's Atlantis. Another good spot is probably some of the Mariana Vale locations. Abyssal Zenith is not bad. Vale of the Forsaken is good. And even some other spots like the Depths are pretty good. We're going to talk about everything. So obviously, you guys can skip through the video depending on what part of the game you're at, but we're going to start with the noob. So if you're a new player, the rod you obviously have is the first rod in the whole game, which is the flimsy rod, you guys. So your first goal is to complete the tutorial with this guy, and you're gonna basically be learning the basics of fish, how to catch fish. This guy's gonna give you a couple quests that are related to catching fish, and then you're gonna learn how to sell your fish. So kind of just come here and just fish, okay? There's nothing specific. If you're a new player, this is literally just what you do. You just keep clicking the shake button until you find a fish, which will eventually happen. Yep, just like that. And then you learn how to actually catch the fish, which this may take you a few tries. This took me a while to learn, but it should not take you guys that long. You guys are probably smarter than me. Now to sell fish, you're going to want to go to the merchant, and you can either sell a specific fish by holding it, or you can just sell your whole inventory. But the first rod that you're actually going to want to buy is the carbon rod, you guys. Now this rod is going to cost you $2,000, and it is a pretty small upgrade, but a necessary one, you guys. So save up for the carbon rod, which does have a minus 10% lure speed, so that's a negative, but it has higher luck, better control, better resilience. Overall, it is an upgrade. So this is going to be the first rod that you ever buy, and congratulations, you just bought your first ever rod. Now, you're basically going to want to complete the steps I just mentioned until you get $7,000, which it should be easier to get that much. Even with the lower luck, luck's not going to matter if you're a new player. But the next ride you're going to want to be going for, again, $7,000, and it is at Roslyn Bay. So go from Moosewood. You're also going to want to buy a boat as well, so save up for a boat. So to get to Roslyn Bay, it's literally just straight across. Really simple. And this rod is called the steady rod, you guys. So we're going to come over here, and you're going to find a blacksmith, and this is where the next rod is going to be that you're going to buy. So here it is right here. The steady rod only costs $7,000. And again, you guys might be thinking, why don't you just buy the rapid rod? Well, it's because some of these other rods are just not as good or unnecessary, especially for progressing in fish. This guide is to help you get the best rods possible for actually progressing. So if you're trying to progress, follow through with the guide. Now, the steady rod is pretty good. However, this is where you really find your first big drawback. While this has an upgraded max kilograms, better resilience, better control, better everything, the lure speed has been basically non-existent. Now, lure speed is going to be really important. Now, the upgrade is that you also get a cool passive, which is just a higher shake button. Now, you're going to be using this rod for quite a while, even despite the lower lure speed. And that's because the stats overall are better. But our goal is to move on from this as soon as possible. And the next rod that you're going to want to buy, is going to be $40,000, which you're going to have to grind quite a bit for. And to be honest with you, at this point, you can literally just grind anywhere. Okay, catching fish and selling them, that's all you have to worry about. Don't worry about what the best spot is. But the next rod you're going to want to buy is going to require some extra steps, and that is going to be unlocking Atlantis. We're not going to go into a full-on tutorial, but basically there are steps to getting the Heart of Zeus, which you are going to need to get inside of Atlantis. Now, all of these levers are on Forsaken Shores, and for the pure sake of this video not being 50 minutes long, I'd recommend just finding a full tutorial for how to get Heart of the Zeus, because you're just going to want to get some levers here. They're all in different spots, and you're also going to need to get some diving gear. I'd recommend getting the advanced diving gear. So to get the advanced diving gear, you're going to want to go to Sunstone Island and just head north. and you're basically gonna find it right here, and I'd recommend saving up for this as well. It's gonna be a solid $15,000. You can also get the basic one back at Moosewood, but the advanced one is so much better. And you're gonna need this to basically unlock Atlantis, because once you do all the levers and everything, you're gonna find the TNT, and then you're gonna be exploring the TNT at the Grand Reef. And then from there, you're going to get the Heart of the Zeus. Honestly, I would just recommend finding a full in-depth guide on that, because it does take like, what, 5-10 minutes, but it really isn't that bad. Once you unlock Atlantis, that's the main part for now. However, later on, you're probably going to want to complete the whole thing, which you're going to need a buddy for. So yeah, Atlantis is a whole thing in itself, but the next rod we're going to be upgrading is going to be a rod that you don't have to complete anything else for. You just have to get to Atlantis, and then you're going to want to find the merchant in here. So the merchant, you'll see him by a bridge, and the next rod is going to be right there. This rod is the Depth Seeker rod. So, really good rod. I also recommend buying the flippers or the advanced flippers. Those are good as well. But yeah, the Depth Seeker rod, it's going to have an upgraded lure speed, upgraded luck, upgraded basically everything. You're going to need this rod moving forward. And now we're going to talk about the next rod, which this is going to be the first mid-game, higher end-game rod that you're going to get. This rod is the Rod of the Depths. Now, at this point, this is where we're going to start talking about enchant relics. But to get this rod, it is basically your next overpowered rod. A little bit lower lure speed, good luck, good control, good resilience, way higher max kilograms. The big thing about this is the passive, which every 3 fish you catch, your ghost buddy here is going to catch a fish for you, which is absolutely insanity. So this rod is going to be a huge upgrade. But to get this rod, we're going to need to find a strange whirlpool. So to get out of here, you can just come out from here, the teleportation area. I haven't talked a lot about enchantments yet, but this area we are going to be talking about does have a lot of enchant relics, which you're going to need for enchanting. So keep that in mind. This is going to be a good spot. So you're going to need to find what is called a strange whirlpool. Now to get the strange whirlpool, it's going to look like a whirlpool, but you're not going to want to jump in this one. A strange whirlpool is going to have like a beam coming out of it, so don't go into this one. And here it is right here. It's right next to it. You'll know one is spawned when on the top it says a strange whirlpool has appeared. These are the ones you're going to want to jump into. Now, don't jump in it yet. Don't do that, because you're going to want to complete the Vertigo Bestiary. Now, to complete the Bestiary, you're actually going to need what's called crab cages, which you can find throughout the map. You could buy them. Even Moosewood has them. But you're going to need some crab cages, okay? Now, before you jump in, catch the mythical in here, which is the Isonade, which you're just going to fish outside of the whirlpool. You can see my fish radar has clearly stated that the Isonade is right here. That's because it is right on top of the whirlpool. Now, you're going to want to catch the Isonade, and then you're going to want to jump inside when you have. And this is going to take you into the Vertigo. And you're basically going to want to use your crab cages to catch a certain fish, and you're going to want to fish for everything in here. Now, I forgot what fish really needs the crab cage, but you'll know when you catch it. It's only one. But you're going to want to catch every other fish here as well, including the Depths Key, which is the exotic, and it is the rarest one. And all you need to do in here is complete the Bestiary. This is going to help you unlock a really important area, which will get you the Rod of the Depths, but also an area that's going to be pretty good for grinding as well as getting enchant relics. So, once you've completed the Bestiary and you have the Depths Key, just come right up here. And as you can see, mine's already open, but you're going to want to give the Depths Key to this guy. And once you do, this door's going to open, and you're basically going to want to get through here, complete the parkour, and then you're going to have unlocked the depths. So in the depths, there is a higher chance of getting what are called enchant relics. So if you're ever in need of enchant relics for enchanting your rod, or for this case, it's going to be unlocking rods, because some rods need different kinds of relics. So this is going to be your spot basically for enchant relics. It's going to be really good for that. And it's going to be where we're going to be getting the Rod of the Depths. So I made a full video on how to get this thing, but you are going to have to complete a maze. And once again, the diving gear is going to be important, and the flippers are going to be important, which I did say to buy earlier. So when you're in the depths, you don't have to complete the Bestiary, but you're going to need 2 relics here. You're going to need the Abyssal Relic, and you're going to need the Hex Relic. Now, the best way, in my opinion, to get this is by just simply appraising, which is going to be at Moosewood. And appraising is basically going to cost you money. Now, in this area, I'd highly recommend just fishing for enchant relics, because you are just going to need them. And then you're going to want to appraise them until they become abyssal or hexed. And once you have the 2 relics, basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place them in a certain location. So follow me this way to the waterfall on the other side of this little cliff here. At this point, I recommend wearing your diving gear, and your flippers or super flippers, which are the upgraded version. You're going to want to come all the way up here until you find this ledge. Come off the ledge, and you're going to want to place the abyssal, and this is where you're going to place your hexed relic, okay? I don't have one at the moment, but when you do have it from appraising, place it here, and then the abyssal enchant relic is going to go down there where the blue one is. And once you do all of that, and make sure you guys don't mess this up, because you are going to have to come all the way back here and stuff. It probably isn't that big of a deal, but still. All right, guys, so now we're going to jump in, and I'm going to show you guys the route you're going to want to take. So make sure you follow me, okay? I think you could say you're spawned at the depths, so if you did that, which you use the innkeeper, perfect. But yeah, just come down here just like so, okay? Basically, just come through the start here, come here, turn right, and then follow this path just like so. Just keep on going straight, ignore everything else until you get to this point. Once you get here, you're going to want to go left, and then you're going to want to go right immediately, and then you're going to go right again, and you're just going to want to basically follow this path right here. Just keep on going, and yeah, so just keep following this exact path. Remember, there is a time limit. Just keep on going straight, and then left, and then you're going to want to go up from here, and then you have made it. If you guys want a fuller in-depth guide, I did make a video on that, but this is basically the next ride you're going to want to buy. Really overpowered, $750,000 like I said before, so save up for that. And once you buy the ride, you're just going to want to come behind the statue, and then you're just going to want to jump in this hole just like so. Now, once you have the Rod of the Depths, you're going to be good for a while. Okay, guys, so I want to talk about the next rod. The next rod you're going to want to get is going to be a difficult one, and it's going to honestly be a really grindy one. And we're going to go for this one over a lot of the other rods, like the Kraken rod or the Tempest rod. Not just because it's so overpowered, but also because you're going to be using it for a long time. And we're going to be talking about the Heavens rod. So this rod is going to take you a while to get. It's going to be $1.75 million for the base price, but you're going to need like extra money. So I'd say more like $2.15 million. Now, this rod is going to be the first like end game rod that you're going to get. Now, this rod has a lot of crazy stats, but it has not really good lure speed. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get those enchant relics. So you're going to want to get Swift or Hasty for the enchants on this thing. So to enchant your rod, basically, you're going to want to go to the Statue of Sovereignty, and you have to make sure it's nighttime, and then you're going to basically be able to enchant your rod with a random enchant. So you're probably going to have them saved from grinding all this time, because you can get enchant relics anywhere. But if you do grind at the depths, as I said earlier, it is a higher chance of getting relics. But let's talk about this rod. So Swift and Hasty are both regular enchants. There's regular, and then there's exalted relics, which have their own certain enchants, which are even better. But Swift and Hasty you can get from both regulars, which are really lucky for you. But yeah, you guys, so you're basically gonna want to put either of those enchants on your rod. If you want a full guide on how to get this rod, I have a really good video, which is this one right here. Now, I am not going to be going over the full way to get this rod, because it's going to take me over 40 minutes to discuss this. This video is 34 minutes, and there's a lot of steps to get this thing. So once you get the Rod of the Depths, you're going to be basically making that your best friend for a while. And I do recommend getting an enchant on the Rod of the Depths as well, because you're going to be using this for such a long time. And for the Rod of the Depths, I didn't say this before, but the enchants that you're going to want to get for this, I would probably say Abyssal or preferably Quantum. Abyssal you can get from regular relics. Quantum is going to be from exalted relics. Quantum is going to give you a 25% chance of getting the subspace mutation on your fish, which will make you more money. Abyssal has a 10% chance of getting the abyssal mutation, but Quantum is better, so get that if you can. But basically, at this point, you're going to be basically going for the Heavens Rod with the Swift or Hasty enchant. And to do this, you're going to want to get Rod of the Depths with Quantum, preferably, or Abyssal, which isn't as good. And you're going to be using this rod for probably a while until you get $2.25 million to even be able to afford the Rod of the Depths. So yeah, this is going to be your best friend for quite a while, and it's going to be really good in the long term using this thing anyway, so don't even worry about, oh, it's going to be so hard. The rod itself is really good with its stats and such, and putting a good enchant, as I already said, is going to help you make even more money. But also during this time, I'm also going to say, if you unlock the no life rod, which you need level 500 for, if you unlock this rod, I'd recommend putting Quantum and just using this over Rod of the Depths, because this is like the first like really good level up rod you're gonna get. The other one is gonna be level 1000, which is Seraphic. So if you do have either of those rods, use that and make all the money you need until you unlock Heaven's Rod, which again, it's going to be a whole process to get this thing. So watch my full guide because it does take a long time. But once you unlock the Heaven's Rod and you put Swift or Hasty on it, this rod is going to be your best friend. It's going to have high lure speed, high luck, overpowered stats, and infinite max kilograms, so you can catch those megalodons and all those other rare fish that you want to get. And at this point, you are basically in the end game phase. You already were if you had the no life rod, but if you have the Heaven's Rod, you're in an even better spot, and you're going to be using this thing quite a lot, you guys. It is overpowered. I don't have the lure speed on this right now. I can just get it whenever. From the Heaven's Rod, you're going to be basically using either this or the Seraphic Rod. Use either of them based on your own personal preferences. They're both really good endgame rods. But now I want to talk about how at this point in the game, you can go for any cool rod you want. If you want a lot of money, you can go for rods such as the Kraken and all that stuff. If you're looking to catch a lot of fish and rare fish, you can go for the Tempest rod or like the Challenger's rod. So you're going to basically be having different options. But for this video, I'm going to be recommending one more rod, which is the God of Fish right now. This is the best rod that you can possibly get in the game if you want to have the best rod. So there's a lot of good rods, as I've already just said. But the last rod that you're basically going to want to save up for is the Ethereal Prism Rod. This is the God of Fish, you guys. This rod is so overpowered, it doesn't even make sense. This rod is better than Seraphic, and it has a passive ability that's going to make you so much money. It is crazy. But to get this rod, you are going to need to complete Mariana's Veil, and you're going to want to save up $15 million. So to get this rod, again, complete Mariana's Veil, and you're also going to want to complete the Veil of the Forsaken Bestiary, except Scylla. You don't have to have this, but you have to have everything else. Now, when you're level 1000 or you have Heaven's Rod, you are basically at a point where you can grind for this. And at this point, you're going to want to be grinding in a place like Kraken's Pool, which you should have unlocked by now. Or you can just grind at the Mariana's Veil area. You can grind at the Calm Zone here, or you can go even further, which is what I would do personally, since you can set your spawn at the Calm Zone. I would set your spawn here, and I would grind at Veil of the Forsaken until you have $15 million, you guys. Which, again, if you do have the Heaven's Rod, you do have a cool passive that lets you get the Heavenly mutation, which will make you more money as well over time. Seraphic doesn't have that, so that's why you do want to put Quantum on it. Ethereal Prism Rod, this is the God of Fish, basically, and this is going to require the Mariana's Veil completion, which should not be too hard if you have the Seraphic Rod or the Heaven's Rod. You should be max level at this point, but if you're not, you're going to want to just keep grinding with the Heaven's Rod until you do have max level. And even when you do have max level, you can honestly still just straight up use the Heaven's Rod because it is still really overpowered at this point. But basically, follow the steps I just did and use the Advanced Glider to get over to the other side without doing this hard parkour. And you should have the Advanced Glider by now because you do need it for the Heaven's Rod. I don't think it's fully required for it, but I do just recommend you have it, which I do talk about in the Heaven's Rod guide. But basically, keep going in here, and you're going to find the next part of the Calm Zone, which is where you're going to be buying the rod. So again, have $15 million saved up using your Heavens or Seraphic Rod, preferably Heavens at this point. But also, you're going to have to complete the Bestiary for the Veil of the Forsaken. So yeah, the rod is going to be right here, and you're just going to want to pass it and go into the Veil of the Forsaken, which is the Scylla spawn. You do have to complete the Scylla boss fight, which isn't that bad. Honestly, just find a full guide on how to complete this update because this is going to be a long time, and thankfully with the rods that you have by now, it should not be a pain in the butt. But once you have completed the Veil of the Forsaken Bestiary, just come back here and do not fall in the water because you'll die super quickly. Even with the advanced diving gear, it still goes down really fast. But anyways, buy this rod and you have now basically completed this full guide because this is literally the God of Fish right now. This rod has the best stats in the game. This rod is better than Seraphic and has a passive which will get you 8 times money with the 50% chance of getting the prismatic mutation. So this rod is basically the best in the whole game. The enchant you're going to want to get is Sea King, which gives you 10% bigger fish and uses a normal enchant relic, or the Sea Overlord, which is the upgraded version, but you need the exalted relic. And once you have that, you guys, you've basically completed this full guide. That is the best way to progress in Fish to get this rod. Obviously, it's a lot easier said than done. You guys have to put in all the work to get the Heaven's Rod and a lot of work to get the Ethereal Prism Rod. So it is going to be a long long grind. But I do hope this video helped you guys out. Again, I didn't go into full detail on how to complete Mariana's Veil or how to get the Heaven's Rod because it's gonna make this video like 2 hours long, and that is not what you guys want. You guys just wanted the facts on what rod to get, and that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below what you guys think. And yeah, you guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay blessed, everybody. Peace.